Good morning. My name is Pastor Delisa,
My name is Jim Reuter.
and we're here today with Proverbs chapter 14. Today is January 14th, and we hope that you have been being blessed thus far with our Proverbs on our YouTube station. We want to encourage you for the whole month of January to read one chapter of Proverbs a day. I'm telling you, your life will be blessed. We're going to share with you starting verses 4 through 15. But as always, we want you to remember, please read the full chapter. It has so much in it that will be a blessing to you. Where no oxen are, the trough is clean, but much increase comes by the strength of an ox. A faithful witness does not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scoffer seeks wisdom and does not find it, but knowledge is easy to him who understands. Go from the presence of a foolish man when you do not perceive in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools mock at sin, but among the upright there is favor. The heart knows its own bitterness, and a stranger does not share its joy. The house of the wicked will be overthrown, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Even in laughter, the heart may sorrow, and the end of myrrh may be grief. The backslider in heart will be filled with his own ways, but a good man will be satisfied from above. The simple believes every word, but the prudent considers well his steps. Pastor Jim, what do you think about that?
Well, I'll go back to verse number 4,
Mm-hmm.
where it talks about the oxen and the manger. And from my farming background, every time you raise cattle,
Mm-hmm.
they're awful messy. They make a mess out of their feed bunk, and they're just hard to take care of in a lot of ways. But they're so strong. On the other hand, every time there's a mess, there's always an outcome from it, good outcome.
Oh, okay.
That just
The most I know about that is it's good to eat.
and there that is too. That's old school. Oxen were used for pulling and harnessing, and they were made uh, harnessed for plowing and doing things with the crops.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to jump to verse 6. See what it says. The mocker seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge comes easy to the discerning. So so let's say you're talking to someone, and all you can do is find a something to take issue with this person,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of mock it. There's nothing you can learn from this fellow unless you learn to listen and understand where he's coming from. What do you think?
I think that's true. Uh, a scoffer doesn't really seek wisdom,
No.
in the real point of view. But um, and even when you give a scoffer, someone who's always going to mock what you have to say, truth, words of wisdom, they're not really going to hang on to it. You know what I mean?
Dude.
They're going to make excuse, or they're not going to even want to hear
Mhm.
it. But knowledge is easy to him who understands. Those that realize, you know what? This might be something to consider. This might be something to think on or hold on to. They have enough wisdom and understanding to say, whether I get it in full or not, there's something in it that I might need to hold on to.
Yeah, yeah. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways. You covered that. But the folly of fools is deception. So this mocker, this fool that we're talking about in that area, that is his folly. He's deceived in all of his ways.
Yes.
He gets poor information just from his own mind, right?
Yes. And the foolish person thinks they're wise in their own way anyway, right?
They do. Yeah.
And so we realize, but that's not the wisdom of God.
In verse 9, it talks about the fools mock at making amends for sin. but goodwill is found among the upright. So where you're mocking and you're not willing to be sorry for your mistakes that you've made, for the sins that you've committed, you have no gain. The only gain is when you acknowledge that and basically you own what you've done. You take it on yourself, you own it, and then you can be, healed.
You can be healed, blessed, and guess what? You can also obtain favor. Favor from others, right? Because when you think about it, others will be more inclined to do with you and for you when you're willing to receive your mistakes, your errors, and correction.
In life, and being truthful, I'll just add that to it, and we all make mistakes. We speak out of turn. We pop off with some sarcastic remark, which is one of my problems. And after you pop off, you wish, boy, I wish I had that back. But that's out there. So the next thing is, you just basically ask for forgiveness. You own your stuff, and then you're dealt with your sin.
That's so good. And one thing about it too, the good part is that you have a sorrowful heart when you do it. A righteous man realizes when they make a mistake, right? And they're not too proud, like you said, to say that they're sorry, right? Sometimes, and even if we are for a little while, God will get with us and then we'll get it together, right?
Yeah, you're usually making excuses for yourself. I don't know about you, Pastor, but that's me. I usually feel I'm justified in my sin. But then that's when the Lord, as you say, comes in and brings the conviction into our hearts.
It does, and people of the world call it conscious, right?
Yeah, conscious.
But we realize that's the Holy Spirit moving in us, telling us to change and to do better, or hey, that wasn't right. I know you're trying to fix it, right? We're trying to justify it, but it wasn't right. So get it right with me. And that's what I love about the Lord. He is so awesome in all his ways. Because, and that just leads us to verse 12. It says, there is a way that seems right to man, right?
Yes.
That's why we justify. Because it seems right to us, right?
Yeah.
But the reality, God's ways is not our ways. His wisdom is not our wisdom. That's why we're here in these Proverbs, so that we get the full wisdom of God. Because we realize the man's way that seems right has an end. And that end is death.
Yes,
right? It's not righteousness. It's not holiness. It's not life. Right?
That's what verse 12 says. But in the end, it leads to death. Exactly.
Yes.
And on to verse 13. Even in laughter, the heart may ache. But that's because of you haven't actually repented yet. You can laugh and you can be joyful, but your heart is still sorry.
Yes.
The only true joy is found with a clean heart and forgiveness that God gives us, right?
That's so true. And though you're smiling on the outside, a lot of times people don't know what you're going through on the inside, right? Sometimes you have a smile on your face, but your heart is broken. And so what I love about the Lord, he comes to heal our hearts. He comes to mend us, and he comes to create, not laughter only on the outside, but on the inside. Give us that joy that no man can take away. Isn't that awesome how God does?
The Lord. Yeah.
It is our strength, truly.
And on to verse 14, the faithless will be fully repaid for their ways.
Yes.
How would you like to be repaid for that?
Yeah, I thank God for salvation.
Amen, Pastor. And then the second half of that verse, of course, is, and the good man will be rewarded for his. Yes. So there's reward for being honest, truthful, and have a clear heart, a clear conscience before men and before God, right?
Amen. Thank God for that. We can be satisfied. We don't have to have restless sleep. We don't have to have look behind our back everywhere we go, right? Because we realize that we are able to be satisfied with the life that we're choosing to live in truth and holiness and humbleness before the Lord.
On the same token, we don't have to hide from somebody that's angry at us or we're angry at. We don't have to go by the post office and say, oh, I can't go in there right now. He's in there. I can't look at him.
No.
I don't know if you've ever done that, but
No.
I have.
But you know
But you
what?
make a mess.
But guess what? Also, the Lord will make your enemy, to be at peace with you,
It is true.
right? When
Oh,
we do what
absolutely.
He wants, the Lord will make your enemy be at peace with you. Now, they may not be at peace with you behind your back, but in your face, surely.
Yeah. And
They'll be
that's
at
all. The
peace
rest of
with
us
you.
on them at that point. You're at
That's
peace
right.
with them, and you did what you could to make it right. You're honest with God, and you're honest with them.
That's true.
Sometimes people don't forgive as quick as God.
Mm-hmm.
It takes them a little while to work through some of the stuff that they've got to work through.
That's true.
Before
That's
they can
true.
be free too.
But we want them to be free.
Absolutely.
And what I love about that you brought up, that is, in wisdom states that, we must forgive so that the Lord will forgive us.
That's right.
And so it says here in 15, the simple believes every word. The naive person believes every word, but the prudent considers well his steps. So we take time as Christians to really weigh the matter. You can't just tell us anything, right?
Well,
I tell a lot of people, you might think I don't know nothing, but guess what? God gives me some discernment.
Oh, yeah.
So everything you say, it don't go flying past.
I may not say anything at the time, but that's being prudent and not answering a fool in his folly either.
Yes.
Moving on to a greater thing.
That's so true. And so, with that, we hope that you have been blessed today. Once again, we want to encourage you, read the whole chapter. It has 35 verses, and I tell you, all of them are amazing. You will get so much out of it. And so, we hope that you're blessed, and we want you to know that we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.